Well, hello. This is David McElroy for First Fusion Capital. I'd like to talk today about markets. What makes a market? It's buyers and sellers. What makes the price? That which a buyer and a seller can agree upon. So, do all buyers and all sellers of all things agree on the same price at the same time? No, because markets are very fluid. What makes it difficult for a buyer and seller is to find one of each that has a coincidence of need at the right price upon which they agree and at the time they want to execute. So, what makes a market fluid, since it's hard to find a coincidence of needs? If you've tried to sell something online, you'll find that unless you have a huge market exposure drawing lots of views to your product, and then that your product or service is priced what others perceive to be competitive, it's very difficult to sell. A market maker bridges the gap in the coincidence of needs. So they make their money by the spread, the difference between what a particular buyer or seller might pay at some time in the future. And they hold inventory, much the same way that stores or car shops or any seller of commodities has a storefront or an online presence where they have inventory that they've acquired at a particular price. They know the market, they know at which price they should pay for something so that they can sell it, less their overhead, and have enough net to have a profit. It's a complex business. And if you've looked at anybody, even a business like Amazon, which does a huge amount of retail, they're constantly discounting product down to the point those products they own themselves that don't come in by a broker and selling them at a deep discount, even below cost, to get their cash back and move their inventory. So why did I go through all of this? I go through all of this to help you understand financial markets and the trading of financial instruments. Financial instruments are tools that can be traded from buyers to sellers, whether it be standby letters of credit, midterm notes, mortgages, other types of instruments. And those have value depending upon who a particular dealer knows. When I was in the car business, we would take in trades. And when we were too far apart on the value of what the used car manager would give for a trade and what the buyer of our new car, the seller of the used car that they're trading in, couldn't make a deal, then what we would do is we would call around to other buyers in the car business for a particular car because we knew, for example, maybe a particular Ford or Dodge model was of high value to a particular dealer, and we would get a better price for that. So what was the price of that particular car that day? Well, it was different to different buyers of that car. So those that trade financial instruments, those that are dealers, have spent years becoming experts in those instruments, understanding the face value of the instrument to the probable discount and who is the best buyer of that. And in financial instruments, you can deal internationally. So the value of a credit rating of a particular SBLC in one area by one institution as opposed to another area, another institution, can be very, very wide. So market makers make their living by providing liquidity, holding inventory, buying and selling that inventory for a spread. Now, why does this matter to you? Because dealers need inventory. If they don't have inventory, they have nothing to sell and they can't make a profit. You can make money in the financial market trading instruments if you have the skill to do it. The probability is, if you look at the statistics, most people trying to do such things on their own, even after they study quite a bit, lose money. But you can provide liquidity to the dealers and make money. Now, the amount of money you can make is going to be directly proportionate to the amount of money that you have. To enter these markets, it's not uncommon, needing a minimum of $1 million. The $1 million groups aggregate to $10 million groups that aggregate to $100 million groups. In the financial markets, $100 million is a benchmark that allows you to access much larger markets, the billion-dollar players. So there's opportunities at every entry level to be an aggregator where you take the funds of many until you get whatever that aggregated number would be, 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, a billion, and are then able to access price points that an individual on their own could not. And so the ones at the $1 million level get a smaller percentage of the profits than the $10 million level, who get a smaller percentage of the profits than those trading at the $100 million level. So you can enter these markets and make profits. Now, here's the challenge. Where there's lots of money, there's lots of fraud. So how do you know that you aren't going to be cheated, that you aren't going to invest your money in some unscrupulous or incompetent person is going to either steal your money or lose your money, or maybe a softer version is you spend 2 years and you make nothing. And if you're lucky, you get back your entire principal. Well, you do that through networking, professional networking. I started First Fusion Capital in 2016, and I came out of a residential real estate background, both in terms of a mortgage brokerage as well as in terms of a real estate brokerage. And I learned over time who were the best buyers of particular properties, who were the best buyers of particular mortgages based on their underwriting guidelines. Well, in 2016, when I went into the commercial end, I quickly discovered that I didn't have the clients that needed that service. So I worked diligently to get clients. And then I discovered the next frustration. I didn't have service providers that would actually fund. So I went through many years of frustration finding service providers that could fund and learning the difference between a good client and one that was not appropriate, one that couldn't perform. Example, I have looked at hundreds of investment decks, very fancy. They spent a lot of money having the deck put together. They've got a good management team. They've got everything going for them except one thing. They have no money. They have no money at all. They want someone else to put up the money, someone else to lend them the money, other people to take all the risk. So what I learned is look for those that already have money and help them through my connections, turn that money into more money with, yes, I now have providers that actually perform. Now, how did I find these providers? It wasn't easy. I went through hundreds and hundreds of providers that turned out to be non-impact players, and I met many people with the same experience. We joined together and brought the years of experience we had in failing to find good providers to find the few. And now we have a platform that's made up of those providers that have been vetted. Whether it's the trading of SBLCs, whether it's trading in currency markets, whether it's providing loans through financiers internationally, we have connections in all of those areas. So we are an introductory service, a consulting service that can connect you with the right people who can fund your transaction and help you grow the profits and equity you have in your business to larger numbers. We get paid a fee from these platforms, and they get a fee by the success that they produce for you because they get a piece of that success. So everybody wins. If you're getting exhausted and believe at this point you'll never find an alternative lending financial source, we have the answer to that. But it takes time to build trust. Please reach out to me, David McElroy at First Fusion Capital. Let's open our dialogue of conversation. Let's talk about how we can help you accomplish what you want to in business, and let's all have great success. Looking forward to chatting with you. Look for my contact information below. Hey, do me a favor. Give me a thumbs up on our YouTube channel and go ahead and comment if you feel like it. I'd welcome an opportunity to meet additional providers, finding clients that need funding for their real estate projects, the growing of their business, mergers and acquisitions, just about anything you can imagine internationally. We have connections to help you do that. Looking forward to seeing you. Thank you for your time. You have a wonderful day.